Well, in fact, 37 leaders have now been booked by the Delhi police as far as the riot that we witnessed in various parts of the national capital, despite the kind of assurances that were basically given by the farm leaders that they are going to stick to the proposed routes. What we essentially witnessed is nothing short of democracy on the roads of the national capital. What we're getting to you right now are pictures from the Chilla border, where some farmers have packed up their tents and are moving out. Two Kisan unions have already announced that they are withdrawing support to the protest. Now, among the two farmer unions, that basically includes All India Kisan Sangharsh Coordination Committee and Bharat Kisan Union, the Bhanu faction, they have already announced that they are dissociating themselves from the farmers' protest against the three farm laws, and they've also expressed their displeasure over the violence by the farmers on Republic Day in the national capital. Let me go across to my colleague Madhurima for the latest. Madhurima, what we are essentially witnessing a day after this mayhem that was witnessed on the streets of the national capital is that some of the farmer unions have essentially realized that you have elements within this entire protest who are essentially hell-bent to make something peaceful to something extremely violent, and that is the reason why more and more farmer union leaders are now backing out.
Well, absolutely, Shravan. All in all, it took a very, mayhem-full day for these farmer union leaders to realize that they were not alone. This is something that we've been voicing, our concern about this thing since the beginning of the protest, because we know that we've been, covering all this protest for over 2 months now from several borders, and there have been multiple incidents where me, my colleagues, and even media personnel from various different channels were dragged out of the Singhu border, Tikri border by all these anti-social elements. And when we raised our points, we were hushed by all these farmer union leaders, but now it has came all out in open. And the way the havoc was wreaked across the national capital, from the Red Fort to Nanglo area to ITO. Now these farmer union leaders who have initially skirted from their responsibility, they did not pin it on themselves, they pinned it on these anti-social elements, which by the way, they came from all these different borders only, because we were trailing them from these specific borders, so they cannot disown them by calling them anti-social elements, Shravan. Now that they are realizing that now it's not only all Kisan protests, it's not all farmer protests, there are multiple parties who have joined and are very volatile. They have called off their protests. Now that whatever happened yesterday was unprecedented, and nobody we haven't seen such incident happening on Republic Day, where Red Fort was captured, the Indian flag was disrespected. Now that at the same time the Delhi police is also now cracking down very heavily on all these goons. Over 200 people have been arrested, 37 farmer union leaders of 41 have been booked, of which Mr. Tiket and Yogendra Yadav have been booked for attempt to murder as well. So you can see the seriousness, the police forces across the state of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Delhi police are taking cognizance of this, and SIT is also probing into the matter, because this has to come to light. Responsibility has to be taken, Shravan, because this cannot go easily. Farmers were allowed, all demands of farmers were agreed upon. The central minister from the Prime Minister had come out at various point of time and agreed to their demands, leaving the repealment of the laws. They have come down every time to Vigyan Bhavan to hear them peacefully. They were given multiple chances. But now, after being given multiple chances, Shravan, the kind of behavior which was executed on Republic Day is not something which can be agreed upon or should be tolerated. So now, taking the course in their hand, the Delhi police officials are doing what is supposed to be done, is like to bringing justice to the book. That is what is happening now. And when we talk about these farmer leaders who are skirting from the responsibility, it has become a fact that they were clueless that whom they were representing. They did not have any idea that what kind of forces were around them. And now that such untoward incident took place yesterday and India was put to shame in front of the entire world, and now they are backing down, Shravan. Well, it's too late. However, justice should prevail. The Delhi police officials and the police officials of other respective states which were involved in this are taking heavy cognizance and have come down heavily on these protesters. They are collecting evidences, they are booking FIR, they are detaining people, and soon it will come to light whether who all were really behind this entire protest, this entire episode which wreaked havoc in the national capital and and crippled the national capital for multiple hours, Shravan.